Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Fenty Beauty Pro Matte Filt'r Foundation, is what I believe it's called. As you can imagine, I can't really afford to be buying these high-end foundations without trying them first, so I actually went to Sephora and got some samples first. So the employee at Sephora, she color matched me to the shade 150, but the Fenty Beauty Foundation on a lot of people oxidizes, so she also gave me the shade 120, which is the lighter version of the shade, but in the same undertone, because, as we'll talk about in a second, there are a lot of different undertones within this range. So I have two shades, two different colors. Today I'm wearing 150. In one of the demos I'm going to show you from the other day, I wore 120. It was a little bit too light on me. Fenty Beauty is a brand started by Rihanna. I did not know this, but her real name is Robin Fenty. What a great name. Like, that's a great name. She could have used just her real name as a stage name. Robin Fenty's a great name. But it's her makeup company, and if you remember when she launched 2 years ago, or however long ago it was, her foundation line was the first launch, and it was, I'm going to say, revolutionary to the makeup world. It really changed the game because of how many shades in this foundation there were. Because there was a shade for every skin tone with 50 shades, all different undertones. People who are bright white to the darkest of the dark, everyone was able to find their actual shade. So these were selling like hotcakes, and every other brand out there was basically bullied into stepping up their game because of the success of Rihanna's makeup line. So we really owe a lot to her. And I apologize for it taking me so long to try this foundation, but it's an expensive foundation, and I was worried I was going to like it, and then I had to buy it, and I just, Now, I have seen a lot of reviews on this foundation in the past, because I am a YouTube watcher, and a lot of the reviews that I've seen, a lot of people with my skin tone, or my skin type, which is combination very dry on my whole face, but very oily right in the middle of my forehead, a lot of people didn't like it, because this is a very, very matte foundation. I, however, have a very different experience. I happen to really like it, which sucks because now I want to buy it, but let's go to the Sephora website first and talk about the foundation there. So this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Matte Longwear Foundation in 50 shades. It retails for $42 Canadian. What is it? A soft matte longwear foundation with buildable medium to full coverage in a boundary breaking range of 50 shades. Coverage, medium, finish matte, formula, liquid, normal dry combo skin. I'm going to skip through what else you need to know and just go simply to how to use. Be sure to moisturize skin before foundation application, especially if your skin is dry. After moisturizing, they want you to use their primer, surprising no one. Always shake before use. When testing shades, remember to let the foundation dry completely to find your perfect match. For full coverage, apply 1 to 2 pumps on the back of your hand and then apply with their brush. So it's funny that they mention the wait till it dries completely thing on their website, because like I said, a lot of people find with this foundation, it does oxidize. With the shade 150, the one that she matched to my face perfectly, it did oxidize a little bit. I noticed that, especially around parts of my face that didn't have any other makeup on, like around my mouth, like my chin, upper lip area. It was starting to get a little bit darker right after I applied it, but honestly, like, not that much. It didn't go orange on me or anything, so I'm not really that mad. It can go a little bit darker if it wants to, whatever. Upon first application, I was actually really surprised by this foundation, because when it says matte, it means matte. Like, as I applied it to my face by sticking my finger in a little sample pot and then, like, dotting on my face and kind of rubbing it in with my fingers and then going over it with a sponge. That was my game plan. And by the time I dotted on my face and then I was rubbing it in with my fingers, it was already, like, matte sticking to my face. Like, I was already having a hard time. That being said, though, it did blend out with my fingers and then finish blending it with a sponge just fine. I would be interested to try it with a brush. It's kind of difficult to do that when you just have the little Sephora sample, but I would definitely be interested in trying it that way. So when I was doing that, when I was spreading it and it was drying kind of matte, I was worried that throughout the day, especially on my dry areas, that it was going to get really clingy and I was going to look really cakey and I was going to, look really wrinkly and basically just be like the worst version of myself. That didn't happen. Really, after it dried down, that's how it stayed looking all day. It looked really, really nice. I don't know that I would give this foundation medium coverage. I'd give it maybe, if we're doing a scale here, I'd give it like the fullest version of light coverage. Maybe if I built it up more, I would get more coverage, but you can see on my red spots, like, you can still see my zits for sure. I'm nervous to try to build it up more because it is such a dry formula, and zits on me at least tend to be dry to begin with, so it was looking not the best there to begin with, and if I built it more, it would look even worse, so I didn't. I would rather you just see my acne, but I definitely wouldn't call it medium to full coverage. But Maybe it's medium dimple coverage on other people, I don't know, but on me it wasn't. So the second day that I tried it, which is today, I decided to take a little bit of a different approach to it. I used my Body Shop hemp moisturizer, and then on top of that, on my drier areas like my cheeks, I used my First Aid Beauty, the coconut priming moisturizer. And I feel like that way has been the best way. Like, it just really has kept my skin hydrated underneath the foundation, but the foundation was still able to dry down completely. It's so comfortable. It's not transferring. It looks good. I did my makeup at 8 a.m. this morning, and it's now 5 p.m., so it's lasted all day. And typically for me, I prefer a more matte look on a foundation anyway. I mean, lately I've been only wearing the L'Oreal Pro Glow and the L'Oreal Lumi, so you never know it. But I do prefer a more matte foundation because they typically hang on to your skin better, like they're more long lasting, and I can always add highlighter or whatever afterwards, right? So this foundation, to me, actually going back and using a matte foundation after being glow only for so long was definitely a switch for me, but I really like it. So really, I think if you have oily skin, this is a great foundation because it will help keep you matte. But if you have dry skin and you want to try a more foundation, you can still use this. Just make sure you really properly moisturize your skin underneath, and then it will look great. So overall, I mean, I kind of didn't expect to like this foundation, and I also kind of didn't want to because it's expensive, but I really like this foundation. Rihanna, you did a great job. It looks fantastic. It dries matte, which I like, even on my dry skin. The shade range is phenomenal, as you know, unbeatable, unmatched. It's worn a really long time. I can't, other than the price, as of this point, I have no negatives. And I really just feel like people who don't like this foundation, maybe they didn't moisturize correctly underneath it. Like, maybe their moisturizer or their primer is clashing with something in this, because I just used my hemp moisturizer and then the coconut one from First Aid Beauty, and it worked fine. I don't know. So all in all, I really like it, and I will probably end up buying a bottle. Fantastic. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, and you subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed already, and I will see you next time.